It started like any other episode of the Joe Rogan Experience, the usual banter. The dimly lit studio. The unmistakable tension in the air that only Joe could cut with a smirk and a sip of his black coffee. But something was different this time. Joe wasn't laughing as much. His tone felt cautious, his questions sharper. And when the guest, a well-known body language expert, brought up the recent controversy involving Erika Kirk, the wife of conservative commentator Charlie Kirk, the entire energy in the room shifted. Fans watching live caught it instantly. Joe's jaw tightened. His eyes darted to the camera, then away, like he suddenly realized the conversation had gone too far. The expert leaned in, almost whispering. If you study Erika's posture and gestures in her recent interview, it's clear something's off. There's tension, guilt, maybe even emotional detachment. Joe's reaction, a forced laugh that didn't reach his eyes. That single moment, barely a few seconds long, was enough to send social media spiraling. Within hours, clips from the episode went viral across Twitter, TikTok, and Reddit. Joe Rogan's face says it all. One fan tweeted, "He knows something." Another wrote, "Why did Joe act so sus when Erika's name came up? Is there more to this story?" Viewers slowed down the footage, analyzed every blink, every breath, every nervous grin. Even the body language expert herself looked uneasy, as though she'd said too much. Behind the scenes, whispers began to grow louder. Insiders close to the production team claimed Joe had been briefed about an alleged secret that connected Erika to someone shockingly close to his circle, a revelation that could explain his strange reaction. He looked like a man caught between truth and silence, one crew member said anonymously, like he knew the cameras were rolling, but his conscience couldn't hide it. By the next morning, hashtags like #Erika Kirk Affair and #Joe Rogan Sus trended across the US. Podcast fans who'd never paid attention to political drama were suddenly deep in the rabbit hole, connecting dots that maybe weren't meant to be connected. Erika's social media activity didn't help. She had gone silent for 2 days straight, and when she finally posted a cryptic black and white quote about truth always finding its way, it only fueled the storm. Joe, meanwhile, didn't address the clip directly. No tweets, no comments, no clarifications. But those who know him say that silence speaks louder than denial. Was he protecting a friend? Covering up knowledge of something deeper? Or had he stumbled onto a scandal that was never meant to see the light of day? Whatever the truth, one thing became clear. The internet smelled blood. The affair rumors, the expert's analysis, and Joe's strange reaction had fused into a wildfire that no one could control. And as the story began to unfold, fans couldn't help but wonder, was Joe Rogan hiding a secret that could expose one of the most shocking betrayals in the conservative media world? Under the warm glow of the studio lights, Joe Rogan leaned back in his chair, rubbing the back of his neck as the body language expert finished her sentence. The air was thick. Even through the screen, fans could feel it. Joe's trademark grin was gone. His voice, usually steady and confident, wavered as he said, "That's interesting." The expert, a woman named Dr. Lena Hart, smiled politely, but her eyes searched Joe's face as if she knew something he didn't want said out loud. "It's not just interesting, Joe," she replied softly. "It's revealing." The way she said it made every listener freeze. Joe gave a short laugh, but his hand went to his mic like he needed something to hold on to. "You're saying what exactly?" he asked, trying to sound casual. "I'm saying," Lena said, "that Erika Kirk's body language in that last video doesn't match her words. She's hiding something emotionally, something recent." The studio fell silent for a second too long. You could almost hear the faint hum of the equipment. Joe exhaled slowly and looked off camera, as if signaling the producer to move on. But Lena didn't stop. "People underestimate what the body shows," she continued. "Micro expressions don't lie." Joe nodded, his eyes narrowing. "You mean like guilt?" Lena's lips curved faintly. "Or longing," she said. The audience watching live erupted online, comments flooding the chat feed. "Joe looks guilty too," one wrote. "What's he hiding?" another asked. Later that night, Reddit threads blew up with freeze frames of Joe's reactions. His slightly parted lips, his glance toward the producer's corner. The faint twitch in his jaw, every detail was dissected like a clue in a murder mystery. And then came the wild theory that Joe had met Erika Kirk once, years ago, during an off-record charity event hosted in Texas. A photo surfaced, grainy but real enough, showing Joe, Erika, and a few political figures smiling at a dinner table. No one thought much of it back then, but now it looked like the missing puzzle piece. Why didn't he mention knowing her? Fans demanded. The internet wanted answers. The next day, clips from that charity event resurfaced. One clip showed Erika touching Joe's arm as she laughed at something he said. It was innocent enough, but under the weight of scandal, it looked different now. People slowed it down frame by frame, analyzing her smile, his hand gestures, her gaze. Dr. Lena's words from the podcast echoed everywhere. Micro-expressions don't lie. The media picked it up instantly. Tabloids ran wild headlines. Joe Rogan's silence fuels Erika Kirk affair whispers. Exclusive. Body language expert may have exposed more than she intended. Friends of Joe tried to do damage control, calling the theories ridiculous, but the damage was already done. Every time Joe avoided the topic on his next few episodes, fans saw it as proof he was hiding something. Behind the scenes, Joe was reportedly furious. One of his producers, who later spoke to a gossip outlet under anonymity, said Joe stormed into the studio the morning after the podcast went viral. He was pacing, throwing his hands up, the source said. He kept saying, "This is out of control. I just asked a question." But deep down, he looked shaken. The producer claimed Joe's team begged him to release a statement denying any connection to Erika, but Joe refused. "The moment you address it, it becomes real," he allegedly said. Meanwhile, Erika Kirk's world was falling apart. Her husband, Charlie, had gone quiet on social media for the first time in weeks. His team canceled 2 appearances without explanation. Erika was spotted in Los Angeles instead of Arizona, where she and Charlie usually stayed. Paparazzi caught her outside a cafe, wearing sunglasses and holding her phone like it might explode. She didn't answer any questions, but the photo of her looking distraught became the front page of multiple gossip blogs. Erika Kirk caught along trouble in paradise. The internet was relentless. Fans started pulling up old clips from the Kirks' joint interviews, pointing out moments when Erika seemed distant or distracted. "Look at how she leans away from him," one user wrote. Classic emotional detachment. Others noticed that Joe's podcast episodes with similar guests had been quietly removed from Spotify for a few hours before reappearing. Conspiracy accounts claimed this was evidence of behind-the-scenes cleaning. 3 days later, Lena Hart appeared on another podcast, where the host asked her directly if she thought Joe was connected to the affair rumors. Her response stunned everyone. "All I can say," she said, pausing dramatically, "is that his reaction told a story he didn't intend to tell." Fans clipped that line instantly. His reaction told a story. It became a meme, a chant, a slogan under every Joe Rogan clip. Then came the voicemail leak. An unknown account posted an audio recording allegedly featuring Erika's voice, emotional and trembling. "I didn't mean for it to get this far," the voice said. "He told me to stay quiet." It was impossible to verify, but that didn't stop millions from believing it. Joe's team dismissed it as fake, but the tone of fear in the clip sent chills through listeners. Reddit detectives went into overdrive, matching vocal patterns and analyzing background noises. "It's real," one user wrote confidently. "The hum in the background matches Joe's studio setup." That night, Joe's episode with a fitness influencer dropped, and the comment section was chaos. Half the fans discussed supplements and training routines, while the other half screamed about the affair cover-up. Joe ignored all of it, keeping his focus on the show. But midway through, his guest casually mentioned, "It's been a wild week online," and Joe froze for half a second. It was subtle, but enough for fans to catch it. The clip spread again. Another reaction. Another theory. In private, Joe's friends said he was feeling cornered. He'd always prided himself on honesty, on calling things as he saw them. Now he was being painted as part of a scandal he couldn't even laugh off. "He hates that people think he's hiding something," said a longtime acquaintance. But he's also not denying it. Maybe he's protecting someone. Meanwhile, Lena Hart found herself under attack. Erika's supporters accused her of manufacturing the drama for fame. She released a statement insisting she was just doing her job. "I analyze behavior, not gossip," she wrote. But that didn't stop trolls from digging into her past. Soon, old photos of her at conservative fundraisers surfaced, making people question her motives. Was she planted to expose Erika? One headline read. The story kept twisting. Someone claimed Joe and Erika had been seen together at an afterparty during a political event last year. There were no clear photos, just a blurred background figure and a shadow resembling Joe's frame. Still, the rumor stuck. Where there's smoke, there's fire, fans said. As the frenzy grew, Joe's friends urged him to go live and address the situation, but he stayed silent. Privately, he told one confidant, "If I say one word, it'll blow up even more. Let it die." But it didn't die. A week later, Erika posted again another cryptic message. "Some truths are too heavy for the public to carry," she wrote on Instagram. The comment section erupted. "She's admitting it. She's protecting him. This is bigger than we think." Within hours, Charlie Kirk deleted a photo of them together from his profile. Fans screenshotted it before it vanished. "The Kirks are done," the headline screamed. As the noise reached its peak, Spotify's backend briefly glitched, showing Joe's podcast as temporarily unavailable. The internet lost its mind. "They're scrubbing the evidence," one TikTok said. The clip got 1 million views in 5 hours. Joe came back online that night with a short episode about meditation, completely ignoring the drama. Still, his voice sounded different, slower, tired, like a man trying to keep control of a storm he didn't start. The situation spiraled so far that even comedians close to Joe started joking about it on stage. One comic quipped, "Joe's not just asking questions anymore, he's answering them in private." The audience laughed, but Joe reportedly walked out of the venue halfway through the show. Behind closed doors, his patience was wearing thin. By the 10th day, something even stranger happened. Dr. Lena Hart's Instagram went offline. Her last story showing a single phrase, "I said too much." Within hours, conspiracy forums declared she'd been silenced. Joe made her disappear, one post claimed. Others argued she was hiding because the truth was about to come out. Either way, her disappearance made the drama explode again. News anchors began covering it seriously, pretending it was just about media ethics. But everyone knew they were milking the same rumor the internet couldn't stop talking about. Joe Rogan, America's most unfiltered voice, now caught in a web of secrets, silence, and suspicion. And as the days went on, it became clear this story wasn't just about body language anymore. It was about loyalty, power, and the price of truth in a world that watches every blink, every word, every breath. The tension around Joe's studio didn't fade. It thickened with every new rumor. Behind the blacked-out windows of his Texas compound, the staff whispered that Joe had started recording late at night to avoid being spotted. He'd arrive with a hood pulled over his head, phone on airplane mode, and a look that told everyone not to ask questions. The moment he sat in the chair, he was all business, but something about his rhythm had changed. He wasn't joking as much. His guests noticed too. One described him later as a man with 1,000 thoughts running in the background. Meanwhile, Erika Kirk was living through her own nightmare. Paparazzi followed her everywhere. Her husband, Charlie, stopped appearing beside her at public events. And when he did, he looked tense, his jaw set like he was clenching every word he wanted to say. Fans watched a short clip from a conservative rally where Erika stood next to him, hands clasped, eyes on the floor, while Charlie delivered a speech about truth, faith, and betrayal. The irony wasn't lost on anyone. Someone in the crowd filmed her face as he spoke, zooming in when her eyes briefly filled with tears. The internet ran wild again. "She's breaking down," one comment read. "You can't fake that kind of guilt." But behind the headlines, something deeper was brewing. An anonymous email began circulating among entertainment reporters, claiming to have proof of private messages exchanged between Erika and an unnamed podcast host. No screenshots were ever released, but that didn't matter. The gossip took on a life of its own. Fans connected the dots, insisting the unnamed host had to be Joe. The theory made sense in their minds. The tension, the silence, the body language experts' comments, it all lined up like pieces of a dark puzzle. Then, a second shock hit the internet. Dr. Lena Hart resurfaced with a new interview, her first since disappearing. Her tone was different this time, measured, uneasy. "I didn't expect my analysis to cause all this," she said, "but I stand by what I saw. People can decide for themselves what it means." When asked if she had received pressure to stay quiet, she hesitated. "Let's just say some people prefer silence over truth." That single line reignited every theory, every headline, every meme. Lena's face became a symbol of mystery. Half hero, half villain. Joe's next podcast dropped the day after Lena's statement. It was with a military historian, but fans didn't care about the topic. They watched Joe's every move, every blink, every pause. Halfway through, the historian mentioned how rumors can destroy reputations faster than truth can repair them. Joe leaned forward, eyes cold, and said, "Yeah, people love fiction more than facts." The clip spread like fire. "He's talking about Erika," viewers wrote. Others disagreed, saying Joe was just tired of the internet drama. But even his denial sounded like confirmation. Charlie Kirk finally broke his silence in a tense Twitter post that read, "Some people play with fire and cry when it burns." He didn't name anyone, but everyone knew who he meant. His tweet was followed by an unfollow spree. Erika's name disappeared from his following list. That move alone set off another wave of chaos. Reporters camped outside their home in Arizona, waiting for signs of a separation. When a moving truck arrived 2 days later, it was over. Photos of Erika's boxes being carried out made the front page of every tabloid. Erika Kirk leaves family home amid affair scandal. Joe's fans begged him to comment, but he stayed locked away. A few insiders claimed that Joe's management had temporarily confiscated his phone and advised him to go dark. Spotify allegedly requested a pause on his uploads to let the storm pass, but Joe refused. "They can cancel me, but they won't silence me," he reportedly said. His defiance made him look even more guilty in the public's eyes. By the second week, the rumor had turned into full-blown myth. There were fake leaked texts, voiceovers claiming to be Erika confessing, and photoshopped images showing Joe and Erika dining in secret. It became impossible to separate truth from fiction. Every news outlet wanted a piece of it, and Joe's name became the most searched term across platforms. "This is his biggest scandal yet," one entertainment analyst said on, "and he's doing exactly what celebrities do when they're guilty, he's saying nothing." But those close to Joe told a different story. One staffer said he'd been losing sleep, pacing around the studio at night, replaying clips from the infamous episode. He kept muttering about how one sentence from that guest destroyed everything. The source said, "It wasn't just about the rumors, it was about how easily people turned on him." Joe reportedly confided in a close friend, saying, "They don't want truth, they want entertainment. Now I'm the show." Meanwhile, Erika vanished from social media entirely. Her accounts went private, her last post deleted. Charlie began posting cryptic Bible verses about temptation and forgiveness, which fans interpreted as both accusation and confession. Their marriage, once a symbol of conservative perfection, was now a battlefield fought in hashtags and subtweets. Every corner of the internet had picked a side, hashtag Team Erika or hashtag Team Charlie. But one corner, darker and louder than the rest, focused on Joe. Why was he so defensive? Why did he look away? Why is Lena Hart suddenly afraid to talk? Things took an unexpected turn when an old acquaintance of Erika's, an influencer named Jessica Dean, went live on Instagram, claiming she'd seen Joe and Erika together months ago at a closed event in California. They were talking privately in a hallway. She said, "I didn't think much of it then, but looking back, yeah, it looked intense." Her story caught on instantly, though no photos were provided. Joe's fans dismissed her as attention-seeking, but Erika's silence made the tale believable. Within 24 hours, Jessica's follower count tripled, and she was booked on multiple gossip podcasts to share her truth. Joe, meanwhile, started showing cracks. During a comedy appearance, he made an offhand joke. "You ever say something innocent and the internet decides it's an affair?" The crowd laughed awkwardly. Joe smiled, but the joke landed like a confession disguised as humor. Clips of that moment flooded TikTok, captioned, "He said it himself." Then came the voicemail 2.0a. A new recording leaked this time, the voice clearly male. "You need to calm down," it said. "It'll die out if you stay quiet." Fans swore it was Joe. His defenders claimed it was AI. Still, the rhythm of the speech, the pauses, it sounded too real. People overlaid it with Joe's podcast clips, matching his voice tone by tone. "It's him," they insisted. "This is proof." Within hours, hashtags like hashtag Rogan voicemail trended worldwide. The fallout reached a breaking point. Spotify executives reportedly met privately to discuss content risks. Joe's lawyers began sending takedown notices to gossip accounts, but it only made things worse. Every deletion was seen as confirmation. If it wasn't true, why hide it? Users demanded. And in the midst of the chaos, Lena Hart's name reappeared once again. She released a short video on YouTube, her eyes tired but defiant. "Truth has a way of resurfacing," she said, "even when people try to bury it." The clip ended there, no context, no follow-up, but the message was enough. Suddenly, everyone believed the story wasn't over. The scandal had started as a simple podcast moment and evolved into a monster feeding on speculation. Joe had built a career on asking hard questions, but now he was the question no one could answer. And as the second part of the storm unfolded, one thing became certain: someone was going to break their silence soon. And when they did, the fallout would shake the internet again. Rumors were no longer whispers. They had become noise, deafening and everywhere. Joe Rogan couldn't scroll through a single feed without seeing his own face next to the words "affair exposed" or "sus behavior explained." By the third week, it didn't feel like gossip anymore. It felt like surveillance. People who had never listened to his podcast suddenly acted like experts on his character. Reaction channels uploaded breakdowns of his emotional micro-expressions, slowing down his every smile, his every sigh. "Look right here," one said, zooming in on a freeze frame of Joe touching his beard. "That's guilt. Textbook guilt." Another commentator, pretending to be an insider, claimed that Joe's wife had confronted him after seeing the episode. No proof, no sources, just confidence, and millions believed it. Behind closed doors, Joe's team was falling apart. His producer Jamie reportedly told friends he was thinking about taking time off. The tension was unbearable. Every episode they uploaded was instantly flooded with comments about Erika Kirk. Sponsors began calling, asking questions Joe refused to answer. "They want me to feed their circus," he told his friend and fellow comedian Tom Segura one night. "If I talk, it explodes. If I don't, they invent more." Tom told him to take a break, but Joe only shook his head. "They want to break me. Not happening." While Joe battled the online hysteria, Erika Kirk's personal life crumbled in real time. The couple's joint foundation announced a temporary restructuring, which everyone understood as code for crisis. People started spotting her in Nashville, living out of a luxury hotel. One blurry picture showed her crying on a phone call outside the lobby, her hand covering her face. "That's guilt," commenters said again. "She's talking to Joe." Her husband's silence had turned icy. When asked about her at a conference, Charlie simply said, "I pray for everyone involved." His tone made it clear something had broken beyond repair. In the middle of the chaos, Lena Hart resurfaced once again. This time, she wasn't analyzing, she was defending. She went live and said, "People think I started this for attention. I didn't. I said what I saw, and it spiraled. But I've been getting threats, calls from blocked numbers, messages telling me to stop talking about Joe." She looked exhausted, scared even. Her video barely lasted 5 minutes before she deleted it, but the internet already had copies. Theories multiplied. "She's being silenced," fans said. "She found something bigger." Joe's silence continued, but his actions betrayed unease. A comedian friend shared privately that Joe had canceled 2 of his upcoming shows, saying he wasn't in the right mindset. "He's not himself," the friend said. "He sits there staring at his phone, scrolling through headlines, muttering that people have lost their minds." Others close to him said he'd started recording drafts of a statement but deleted them each time before posting. "He knows whatever he says will be dissected word by word," a source claimed. The rumor then took a sharp turn when a small entertainment blog published what it called exclusive messages between Joe and Erika. The screenshots were blurry, full of spelling errors, and probably fake, but the timing was perfect. The blog's traffic exploded overnight. Other tabloids picked up the story, and suddenly, screenshots were being debated on television panels. "If even half of this is true," one host said, "Joe's credibility is gone." The word credibility hit Joe harder than the affair accusation itself. To him, that was everything. For years, Joe had built his brand on being straightforward, no filters, no lies. Now, he was being painted as a manipulator, a man who played both sides of morality. It cut deep. "He's angry," said a friend, "not just because they're talking about him, but because he feels betrayed by his own audience." As the scandal spread, a strange coincidence appeared. A new podcast surfaced on YouTube, hosted by someone calling themselves The Insider. Their first episode dropped a supposed recording of a phone conversation between a famous podcaster and a married woman. The voices were distorted, but listeners were convinced it was Joe and Erika. One phrase stood out: "We can't keep doing this." Fans slowed it down, enhanced the audio, matched frequencies. Within hours, it had over 10 million views. Joe's team denied its authenticity immediately, calling it a deepfake, but people weren't convinced. "The more he denies, the guiltier he looks," said one viral tweet. Even people outside the entertainment industry started weighing in. Psychologists analyzed his tone. Pastors commented on moral hypocrisy, and political pundits used the scandal as ammunition against the conservative movement. Erika's husband became a public martyr for betrayal, while Joe became the villain who corrupted the perfect family image. Through it all, Erika's name began disappearing from public spaces. Her speaking engagements were canceled, her charity deals paused. Friends described her as broken but strangely calm. One of them revealed to a magazine that Erika had admitted, "The truth always comes out, but maybe not how people expect." That quote alone reignited every theory. What truth? What did she mean by maybe not how people expect? A week later, Joe's longtime friend, comedian Theo Von, appeared on his own podcast and hinted that Joe had been betrayed by someone he trusted. He didn't mention names, but the timing was too suspicious. The internet decided that betrayed meant Erika. The phrase Joe's betrayal started trending, twisting the story even more. Then, a new photo dropped online, a private dinner from 2022, showing Joe, Erika, and a small group of people in a dimly lit restaurant. It had never been seen before. Joe was smiling, Erika sitting next to him, leaning slightly closer than appropriate for casual conversation. The image wasn't scandalous on its own, but under the weight of current events, it became dynamite. News anchors discussed posture angles like forensic scientists. "She's leaning into him," one said on air. "That's intimate." "No, that's just a candid moment," another argued. But by then, logic had no place in the conversation. Joe's silence became the story itself. What is he hiding? People demanded. Spotify executives reportedly urged him to address it directly, but Joe refused again. If they want fiction, he told his producer, they can write their own. His frustration boiled over one night during a recording when a guest brought up social media hysteria. Joe slammed his fist lightly on the table and said, "People think they want truth, but they only want a target." His voice cracked mid-sentence, and the clip spread like wildfire. The pressure finally reached his family. Rumors about his marriage started circulating. Fans posted pictures of his wife shopping alone, speculating about separation. Paparazzi camped outside their Texas home. One night, Joe confronted a photographer outside his gate, telling him, "Get off my property before I lose it." The clip was uploaded instantly. The caption read, "Joe Rogan snaps under pressure." It racked up millions of views. Meanwhile, Erika resurfaced in a private prayer circle video, her eyes red, her voice trembling. "Sometimes, God breaks things apart so truth can be rebuilt," she said. The video felt like a confession to some, a cry for help to others. Joe's fans watched it frame by frame, looking for hidden meaning. A few even claimed they heard a faint voice in the background whispering his name. By now, the story had devoured everything: careers, reputations, friendships. Joe's once loyal fanbase split into camps. Half defended him, calling it a coordinated smear campaign. The other half believed every word of the scandal, convinced he was living a double life. But amid all the chaos, one quiet voice appeared online claiming to be from inside. The anonymous user posted, "The recordings aren't fake." Joe's reaction wasn't scripted. Everything connects back to one night no one's talking about. That post became the new spark. The next obsession. What night? What happened? Theories spread faster than ever, each more dramatic than the last. And while the world screamed and speculated, Joe Rogan sat in his dim studio, staring at the red recording light. His voice, when he finally spoke into the mic again, was low, calm, and heavy. "People think they know the story," he said. "They don't even know the first chapter." As the fourth week of chaos unfolded, the story took on a life of its own, almost detached from reality. The internet wasn't just discussing Joe Rogan and Erika Kirk, it was building a narrative. A mythology around every gesture, every glance, every unspoken word. Clips from the infamous podcast episode circulated endlessly, slowed down, paused, and enhanced. Joe's nervous laugh at Lena Hart's comment about Erika's emotional detachment was now considered the smoking gun. Fans dissected it frame by frame, claiming they could see the guilt in his pupils. Meanwhile, Erika Kirk's silence only fueled speculation. Her private jet movements were tracked, every departure and arrival scrutinized. She was seen in Los Angeles, then Nashville, then Phoenix. Fans pieced together a timeline, assuming each stop was tied to Joe in some way. Tabloids ran headlines like "Erika's secret escape," "running from scandal," or "seeking solace." Every article linked back to the podcast clip, to Lena Hart's words, and to Joe's suspicious glances. Joe's world inside the studio was surreal. He reportedly began installing extra security, refusing to take calls, and only communicating through encrypted messages. His producer claimed Joe had become obsessed with monitoring social media trends, studying hashtags and comments in a near-constant loop. "He's watching everyone's reaction like a hawk," the producer said. "He's analyzing them the way he analyzes guests on his podcast. It's exhausting to witness." As the frenzy grew, even political commentators jumped in. Some conservative pundits tried to defend Charlie Kirk, framing Erika's alleged affair as a moral failure. Liberal commentators tied Joe Rogan's silence to media manipulation, painting him as a reluctant conspirator. The story had evolved into a multi-layered scandal, crossing entertainment, politics, and culture. Every statement, Every lack of statement became a headline. Then came the mysterious letters. Multiple sources claimed anonymous packages were sent to gossip blogs containing blurry photographs, supposed transcripts, and voice recordings. One small blog posted a 30-second audio clip labeled "Private Conversation, Not Meant for Public." Listeners claimed it contained Joe and Erika speaking cryptically about a mistake in covering tracks. The clip was heavily distorted, but fans were convinced it was real. Screenshots of the post went viral on Reddit, Twitter, and TikTok, with millions debating authenticity. Joe's own interactions with friends and colleagues became fodder for further analysis. One comedian recalled visiting him for a casual dinner, only to find Joe sitting quietly, staring at the wall. He barely spoke, the comedian said. Every time I mentioned the podcast, he'd shift, look down, take a sip of water. It was like I was walking on eggshells. Word of Joe's behavior leaked online, and social media users were quick to claim, he's hiding something. He knows more than he admits. In an unprecedented twist, Erika Kirk's attorney filed a statement denying any wrongdoing but refusing to comment further, citing ongoing personal matters. The vague language only inflamed speculation. Fans scrutinized the phrasing, every word analyzed for hidden meaning. Some claimed the attorney's emphasis on personal matters was a subtle nod to Joe, further entwining him in the narrative. Meanwhile, the body language expert, Lena Hart, became a central figure. Her social media was inundated with messages, some praising her, others threatening her. She released a cautious video, walking viewers through basic micro-expression theory, insisting that her analysis had been taken out of context. Yet, the damage was done. The public had already woven her commentary into the fabric of the scandal, and every explanation she gave seemed to create more questions than answers. Joe's management team attempted damage control, reaching out to major media outlets to downplay the story, but it was too late. The internet had taken ownership. Conspiracy accounts claimed insider knowledge of secret meetings, private phone calls, and hidden recordings. Viral clips claimed to show Joe making mysterious trips late at night, all linked back to Erika. Photo manipulations, deepfakes, and AI-generated content flooded forums. Distinguishing fact from fiction had become impossible. As the pressure mounted, Joe reportedly considered stepping away from the podcast entirely. A close friend told an entertainment magazine that he feared the story might consume not just his public persona, but his private life too. He's built his career on being fearless, the friend said. But this isn't about fear. This is personal. It's bigger than him now. Fans and critics alike became obsessed with minute details. Joe's choice of clothing in each podcast episode was dissected, his tone analyzed, the way he handled water bottles studied for hidden nervous tics, Erika's gestures, her eye contact with the camera, even the way she folded her hands in private photos were scrutinized endlessly. The scandal had evolved into a psychological game, a constant hunt for The turning point came when a supposed insider posted a cryptic video claiming Joe had confided in him. He knows more than anyone thinks, the video said. He tried to warn her, but she didn't listen. Now it's out. The video had no proof, no voice verification, and was heavily edited, yet millions believed it. Clips of it spread across TikTok and YouTube, each retelling more dramatic than the last. Amid all the chaos, Joe continued his episodes, carefully sidestepping the topic. Yet every guest he brought in seemed to be filtered through the lens of the scandal. Comedians, athletes, even scientists saw questions and interactions were now viewed under suspicion. Fans speculated endlessly. Was Joe referencing Erika indirectly? Was he attempting subtle confessions? Every silence became loud. Then, Erika's private accounts posted again cryptic, black and white images with captions like, "The weight of what we hide is heavier than what we show." Fans exploded online, dissecting the images, pixel by pixel, claiming they were direct messages to Joe. Charlie Kirk remained silent publicly, but his body language in rare public appearances was tense, defensive, and calculated, further feeding the wildfire of speculation. Inside Joe's circle, trust fractured. Some staff members worried about their own safety, citing threats from overzealous fans. Others worried about their careers being dragged into the narrative. Joe purportedly remained stoic, pushing forward with recordings, obsessively monitoring the public's response. He's addicted to understanding their reactions, a friend said. It's the only way he can feel in control. As week 4 drew to a close, the story had grown beyond any individual, Joe Rogan, Erika Kirk. Charlie Kirk, Lena Hartit had become a cultural obsession. The lines between truth and performance blurred completely. Every pause, every glance, every cryptic post was dissected, speculated on, and turned into content. The scandal had become immortal, a perpetual storm of rumors, reactions, and theories, with Joe at its eye.com yet unspoken, knowing that every word he would utter from now on carried the weight of 1,000 assumptions. By the 5th week, the scandal had metastasized into something no one could contain. The internet had turned into a living organism, feeding off every rumor, every theory, every freeze frame of Joe Rogan's expressions. Hashtags like #Rogan Affair and #Erika Kirk Mystery dominated trends globally. Even unrelated podcasts mentioned the saga, creating a feedback loop of speculation. Clips from the infamous podcast were stitched into montages, overlaid with dramatic music, slow zooms, and captions like "The Truth Exposed" and "Hidden Desire Revealed." Fans dissected his every word as if it were scripture, waiting for a single slip to confirm their suspicions. Joe himself reportedly began to withdraw from all social interaction outside his studio. Friends claimed he barely answered calls, refused in-person meetings, and spent hours reviewing online comments. "He's obsessed," said one insider. "He watches every video, reads every post, and reacts silently. He's trying to map the entire narrative in his head." The obsessive scrutiny was affecting his personal life, and according to sources, he was losing sleep, pacing at night, muttering lines from previous podcasts as if rehearsing for some unseen audience. Erika Kirk, on the other hand, seemed to embrace her disappearance from public life. Private security reportedly escorted her to various locations, shielding her from paparazzi. Yet each new sighting reignited speculation. A photo surfaced of her leaving a hotel in Los Angeles, clutching a coffee cup, sunglasses hiding her eyes, and fans instantly theorized she was meeting Joe secretly. Another blurry image claimed to show the two of them in a car together, windows tinted, faces obscured. Tabloids screamed about hidden rendezvous, while fans pieced together timelines, claiming irrefutable proof. Charlie Kirk remained publicly silent but was active online in subtle ways. Cryptic tweets, deleted almost instantly, sent the rumor mill into overdrive. One such tweet read, "Truths aren't always convenient, some have consequences." Fans were sure this referred to Joe, while others speculated it was directed at Erika. Every post, no matter how vague, was dissected for hidden meaning. Dr. Lena Hart returned again, cautiously, postinga, cryptic thread on her analysis of body language under extreme stress. She didn't name anyone but referenced the micro-expressions of concealed emotions, fear, and guilt. Instantly, fans mapped these comments onto Joe and Erika, claiming she was confirming everything she had hinted at before. Memes exploded. Screenshots of her posts, annotated with arrows, circles, and exclamations like proof. And she's confirming it. The storm intensified when a supposed insider audio surfaced. It was a short clip, distorted and grainy, featuring voices that fans claimed were Joe and Erika discussing something ambiguous but secretive. The clip was unverified, possibly fabricated, but it became the focus of every discussion board. Each new upload came with analysis. "Notice the hesitation here. It's obvious deception," one user wrote, the inflection in her voice. Classic emotional concealment. The obsessive theorizing reached new heights, and the narrative spiraled further from any objective truth. Joe's studio reportedly became a fortress. New security measures, blackout curtains, and strict communication protocols were implemented. Only a handful of trusted staff could enter, and recordings were done under strict supervision. A producer revealed that Joe had installed multiple cameras to record every angle during episodes, not for content, but to monitor his own reactions, as he feared that any unguarded glance could be blown out of proportion online. Public perception became a character in the saga itself. Every comment section, every thread, every meme contributed to a collective narrative where Joe Rogan was simultaneously the villain, the victim, and the enigma. Erika was portrayed as innocent, guilty, or calculating, depending on who told the story. Charlie Kirk became a silent figure of moral judgment. Yet one misinterpreted tweet could swing sympathy away from him in minutes. The chaos was self-perpetuating. Then, an unexpected twist occurred. A private investigator allegedly leaked a report claiming there was no evidence of any personal involvement between Joe and Erika. Mainstream media ran cautious headlines. Fans, however, were skeptical. "They're covering it up," one post claimed. "You can't deny the vibe, the reactions, the body language. Proof doesn't have to be documented to be real." Deepfake technology and AI-generated content blurred the line further, making every denial suspect. Joe, still silent publicly, began to experiment privately. Insiders described him recording mock reactions, where he tested how he might respond to fabricated questions. The goal wasn't to respond publicly but to understand how the public would interpret his gestures, expressions, and tone. "He's fighting the narrative with prediction," said a source close to the team. "He's trying to control perception without saying a word." The psychological pressure on Erika was equally intense. Reports surfaced of her confiding in a close friend, expressing fear of public scrutiny. "I didn't do what they say," she allegedly said, "but everyone wants a story. They don't care about truth." Still, she remained isolated, her movements guarded, and every appearance, no matter how mundane, became fodder for headlines. Memes evolved into a full-blown mythology. Illustrated comics depicted Joe and Erika as shadowy figures maneuvering in secret. Animated TikTok videos reenacted alleged meetings. Fans produced timelines with arrows, notes, and photos claiming to finally map the affair. Every new iteration was more elaborate, with some creators even making dramatic voiceovers, insinuating secret conversations, clandestine meetings, and moments of near. The line between reality and fiction had vanished entirely. By the end of week 5, even mainstream talk shows were running segments titled The Rogan Kirk Saga, Decoding the Hidden Truth. Panelists, most of whom had no direct connection to any party, debated micro-expressions, motives, and hypothetical scenarios. Joe's every public gesture, waving at a friend, smiling at a producer, pausing mid-sentence, was scrutinized as a potential confession. Erika's every social media story, no matter how benign, was analyzed for hidden meaning. Inside Joe's studio, the weight was palpable. Staff reported that he would sometimes stop mid-recording, stare at a wall, and mutter lines like "it's never enough." He reviewed clips of himself obsessively, comparing reactions, trying to anticipate every interpretation. The network, producers, and even some sponsors began to grow nervous, realizing that the story was spiraling far beyond control. Yet the public obsession had only grown. Every rumor, every image, every post added layers to a narrative that no one could conclusively prove or disprove. Joe Rogan, the once inflappable host, had become a figure simultaneously admired, criticized, and feared. Erika Kirk's silence amplified speculation. Charlie Kirk's subtle actions were scrutinized endlessly. And through it all, Dr. Lena Hart's analysis was invoked at every turn. Her statements dissected, quoted, and my feed. The saga, now weeks old, was no longer about an alleged affair. Had become an all-consuming cultural phenomenon. Every glance, every word, every silence was examined as if it were a clue in a labyrinthine mystery. Joe Rogan's reaction, once a simple human response, was now considered evidence in a story that had escaped the realm of reality and become pure narrative, sustained by rumor, speculation, and the ceaseless hunger of the public. Fans across platforms waited for the next reveal, the next slip, the next ambiguous post, knowing that each would send waves of interpretation cascading through the internet. And in the eye of this storm, Joe remained silent, meticulously watching, calculating, and surviving in a world that refused to separate truth from fiction. The stage was set for the next dramatic twist, and everyone, friends, fans, and foes, knew that when it came, no one would be ready. And so, as you followed this tangled saga of suspicion, secrecy, and the storm surrounding Joe Rogan and Erika Kirk, you might be asking yourself, what is really true? Who is hiding what? And what does it all mean? Here's the thing: the drama has already consumed headlines, podcasts, memes, and social media feeds. The world has taken a single moment of body language, experts' comment, and turned it into a sprawling narrative that has reached millions. You've seen how fans dissect every glance, how insiders speculate endlessly, and how silence can be as loud as any confession. And now, it's your turn to step into the story. You've witnessed the tension, the intrigue, and the psychological games at play. Joe Rogan's silence has become a character in itself. Erika Kirk's guarded appearances have become riddles for the public to solve. And Charlie Kirk's cryptic actions add layers of mystery. Each tweet, post, or deleted comment has sent the internet into a frenzy. This isn't just entertainment, it's a modern study of perception, obsession, and how quickly a story can spiral into myth. Now, you have a voice in that whirlwind. Consider everything you've seen: the leaked clips, the distorted audio, the blurry photographs, and the analysis by Dr. Lena Hart. Every detail has been scrutinized, debated, and interpreted in countless ways. You might feel certain about what happened, or you might feel unsure. But here's the reality: the power of the narrative isn't just in the events themselves, it's in how we respond, how we choose to engage, and how we interpret the subtle signs around us. This is why your opinion matters. When you comment, share, or discuss this saga, you're participating in the story, shaping its legacy, and influencing how others will perceive every twist yet to come. The internet thrives on engagement. Every comment, every view, every share acts as fuel, keeping the story alive and amplifying the drama. Your thoughts, questions, and reactions are part of the narrative fabric. You can speculate about Joe's intentions, analyze Erika's body language, or debate Charlie's silence. You can consider the possibility of deception, misinterpretation, or manipulation. Your perspective adds another layer, another angle, another voice that contributes to the ongoing frenzy. By engaging, you transform from a passive observer into an active participant in this story that has captivated millions. And let's not forget the lessons hidden within the spectacle. Beneath the headlines and viral clips lies a deeper commentary on human behavior, perception, and media influence. We've seen how a single comment can spark waves of speculation, how silence can be interpreted as guilt, and how public pressure can shape private actions. Every viral moment reveals more than just scandal. It reveals how quickly society builds narratives, how assumptions become facts in the eyes of millions, and how truth can be lost in the whirlwind of attention. Your engagement is also a way to reflect on these dynamics, to question them, and to discuss them critically with others. You have an opportunity here not just to react, but to connect, share insight, and participate in a community fascinated by the unfolding story. Think of it as a social experiment playing out in real time, where your observations, interpretations, and theories have tangible impact. Maybe you notice details others miss, maybe you propose new theories, or maybe you simply watch and marvel at the intricate dance of human emotion and media influence. Whatever your approach, your involvement matters because it keeps the dialogue alive, vibrant, and constantly evolving. So here's what you can do right now. Take a moment to engage with this story. Scroll through the comments, watch the videos, analyze the clips, and share your thoughts. Ask questions, challenge assumptions, and contribute your perspective. Discuss with friends, debate in online communities, and don't be afraid to speculate responsibly. Your input adds texture and depth to a narrative that is still unfolding. The more voices contribute, the richer the story becomes, and the more insight everyone gains into not only the scandal itself, but also the culture that amplifies it. And while you do that, don't forget the simple power of interaction. Like the videos that intrigue you, subscribe to channels that keep you updated, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next twist. Each click, each subscription, each share is part of the ongoing cycle, supporting content creators who bring you these narratives and helping ensure that discussions remain active and accessible. By participating, you influence which voices are amplified, which angles are explored, and how the story continues to evolve. Finally, remember that this saga is bigger than any one individual. Joe Rogan, Erika Kirk, Charlie Kirk, and Dr. Lena Hart are all players in a story shaped as much by public perception as by actual events. You are part of the audience that drives the conversation, interprets the clues, and keeps the intrigue alive. Your opinion, your speculation, your curiosity, they all matter. The story is far from over, and the next twist could be just around the corner. Your engagement ensures you're part of it from the beginning, watching every development, analyzing every nuance, and adding your voice to the collective dialogue. So now it's your turn. What do you think really happened between Joe and Erika? Is there a secret we've all overlooked? Are the public assumptions fair, or is the narrative manipulated? Share your thoughts in the comments, debate with others, and let your perspective be heard. Like the video if you found the coverage intriguing. Subscribe to stay updated on every development, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a moment of this ongoing saga. The story isn't just on your screen, it's in your hands, shaped by every comment, every view, and every theory you contribute. The next chapter is unwritten, and you're part of it. Your voice matters. Your opinions influence the conversation, and the world is watching. Engage, analyze, and immerse yourself fully because the drama isn't slowing down, and neither should your curiosity.